Welcome to The Doctor is In, your daily guide to virtual care in this time of the coronavirus. I'm Dr. Freddie Gomez, and we're looking forward to answering your many questions in this next half hour. Many of us keep wondering what life is going to be like under this new normal. Tandaan lang natin na the coronavirus is still very much present. There's no vaccine yet, so kailangan na mag-ingat talaga. But let me share something. Just this week, we heard the news that pharmaceutical giant Pfizer has begun testing an experimental coronavirus vaccine in the United States. Until a vaccine is ready, we need to continue to observe social distancing, proper hygiene, and boosting our immune system. Hindi pwedeng mawala yan. So no matter what, even if some areas in the country are under general community quarantine, these safeguards need to be in place. We are joined today by our guest, Mr. Ronnie Puno. He's the national president of the Philippine Association of Medical Technologists, or commonly known as PAMET. Welcome to our program here on CNN Philippines, Mr. Puno.
Good afternoon, Dr. Gomez, and thank you very much again for inviting us here in your program.
Great to have you again. Now, Mr. Puno, let's remind our viewers again, how can we continue to protect ourselves from the coronavirus? So we want to discuss really the importance of good personal hygiene.
Of course, in this time of pandemic of the coronavirus, health hygiene is very important. And for me, one of the most important way of maintaining health hygiene is through proper hand washing. As we all know, this is the single most effective way of breaking the chain of infection. So beyond the other forms of disinfection, we always recommend to use soap and clean water in order to destroy the virus because as we all know, soap is the action of the soap is actually to cut the fatty the fatty covering of a virus, which is composed of a protein. So it's very important to practice that particular hand washing, and of course, very important also that we observe always cleaning, no proper cleaning of our homes, of disinfecting all the highly touched materials that we always use every day.
Now, with more relaxed restrictions, people will have the ability to leave their homes more. And down the road, of course, that's going to happen more and more. So as restrictions are eased or lifted. Now, let's talk about how we can keep our homes clean. So, Mr. Puno, an example would be, so we step out of our homes and then we go get food, need to go to the grocery or medicines, and then we have to come back to our homes, of course. What should we do when we actually get home?
Well, I must say, Doc, maybe I could recommend a simple suggested protocol whenever we go out and then go home. First and foremost, we recommend that upon arriving home, we take our shoes off before entering our home, and then maybe we can spray the top and the bottom part of it with disinfectant because studies showed that viruses, particularly coronavirus, can actually stay on the surface of our shoes for around 9 hours. And we should also do that same procedure with our clothes, with our cell phones, with our glasses, maybe with our keys and even work utensils and gadgets before entering our homes. And after that, I suggest that whatever papers or receipts that we have in our pockets, maybe we can throw that away before we go to an area where we can actually change our clothes and then put them in a washer. And we would also recommend that don't touch or sit on any chair or beds, but instead we go to the bathroom, take a shower, and have a personal hygiene. And after that, you can now do the usual thing you do: hug your family, kiss them, and at least you are sure that you are safe.
To our viewers, if you have specific questions about disinfecting your home, we want to hear from you. So for now, let's talk about high traffic, high touch areas in our homes. What should we look out for and regularly disinfect? Isa-isahin natin yun, ano? So let's watch this. Okay, with that video we saw various high traffic things in the house. Now, Mr. Puno, let's talk about them a little bit more specifically. No, in this case, obviously, ang doorknobs dapat talaga i-disinfect. How often do you think should we disinfect a high traffic item like a doorknob?
Yeah, well, actually, according to WHO, virus can actually be viable for up to 72 hours, and definitely people can pick up those viruses by touching contaminated surfaces and then touching their eyes, their nose, and their mouth. And therefore, it is highly recommended that we disinfect those different items that we often touch. And if I may suggest also, this is a proven formula wherein we recommend using bleach solution as a form of disinfectant for highly touched items. And one way of doing that to make it a more effective solution is to come up with the solution of with a formulation of 1:100. And when we say 1:100, that means we mix 1/3 cup of bleach or 5 tablespoon of bleach per 1 gallon of water. Or alternative way is mixing 4 teaspoonful of bleach in 1 liter of water. And that would be very effective and very useful, aside from the fact that the bleach is always available. It is very cost effective compared with other disinfectants. That's why that is the most commonly recommended type of disinfectant, yeah, in households.
So with bleach being really a go-to disinfectant, I know when it comes to the homes, ready available, what are some precautions that people should watch out for when using bleach?
Come again, Doc, sorry.
What are some of the precautions na kailangan na malaman ng mga tao when they're using bleach? What are some things that bleach shouldn't be mixed with?
Okay. Of course, so whenever we use bleach, we need to take some safety precautions, particularly when we touch the solution. We need to use gloves, of course, because bleach can actually cause some skin irritation. So it is also important that we understand that based on study, viruses actually stay in many surfaces on different period of time. So as shown in the screen, so there are several types of commonly used items wherein virus stay. So aside from those mentioned in the screen, they also share that of course for plastic, which is very common in our households, it usually stays about 72 hours, and even for fabric, for clothes, it could stay up to 3 hours. Then even wood and steel, ceramics, metal. So those are the usual surfaces that we touch every now and then. So that's why very important that we effectively disinfect those, more particularly when there's somebody who's sick in our home. So let's make it a habit and let's make it a regular practice in our homes and even whatever we are. So that would definitely make us less prone to virus, particularly this COVID-19 virus.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Puno, for joining us. We have to pause for a quick break, but we want to show you this video about droplets, kung saan yan ang carrier ng mga virus. We'll be back after a short break, but for now, let's watch this.
Health officials say it's clear that droplets from coughing, sneezing, and talking can spread COVID-19 among humans. In a new study published in the journal Nature, researchers looking at the potential aerosol transmission of the virus found high levels of it in droplets in certain areas of two Wuhan, China hospitals during the COVID-19 outbreak in February and March. The study found more coronavirus RNA, part of the virus's genetic material, in aerosols in patients' bathrooms and in changing rooms for medical staff, and lower concentrations in places like isolation wards and patient rooms that had good ventilation and were thoroughly sanitized. The researchers say their findings indicate that room ventilation, open space, sanitation of protective apparel, and proper use and disinfection of toilet areas can effectively limit the concentration of coronavirus pathogens in the air. For today's Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Hi, and welcome back to the Doctor's In. I'm Dr. Freddie Gomez. We hope that while you're staying safe at home, we can provide you with medical advice that you need. Today, we are talking about the new normal. Ano nga ba ang bagay-bagay na kailangan natin malaman at maintindihan sa term na yan? Now, we are joined with Dr. Carmenchu Echiverri Villavicencio, who is an infectious disease specialist from the Makati Medical Center. Hello again, Dr. Mench, and welcome to the Doctor's In.
Ayan.
Dr. Mench, are you there?
How are you?
Okay, there. I can hear you now. Now, with some areas in the country under general community quarantine, we want to keep reminding everyone what we should be doing in order to stay safe. Doctora,
I'm sorry,
let's review
I
again
cannot hear you
how
clearly,
should we.
Freddie.
Okay, am I coming in better now, Doctora? Doctora
I'm
Mensch,
sorry,
can
I
you hear
can't
me?
hear you clearly, Freddie.
Okay, well, we'll try and sort the audio technical difficulty as I apologize to everyone. And as you know, this is the new normal now when it comes to trying to broadcast a show from home. Uh, can you hear me now better, Dr. Mensch? Okay, we will try and get Dr. Carmenchu Villavicencio back. So again, let me just, while we're trying to get Dr. Mensch back on the line, let me recap everything that we've talked about a while ago with Mr. Puno, who was the president of the Philippine Association of Medical Technologists, or PAMET. So using bleach in the household is okay, but again, to add to what Mr. Puno mentioned, you have to use them in a well-ventilated place. You cannot apply bleach on your skin, and most of all, do not use it for your mouth. Do not gargle it. Do not use it as an antiseptic for your mouth. There are specially prepared gargles or antiseptics that are meant for you to gargle. So do not use bleach for those. Bleach is a good all-around item to use to disinfect things, especially those high traffic areas like the doorknobs, like your handles, like the computers, computer keyboards, or even the telephones. Aside, another thing a lot of people use is uh, mixing certain things. So what you have to take note is just dilute it with water. What Mr. Puno gave a dilution is 1:100. So 1 cup of bleach to, I'm sorry, 1 ml of bleach to 100 ml of water. Okay, so do we have Dr. Villavicencio back on the phone?
I can't hear you, Freddie, clearly. Sorry. It's a bit muffled.
Okay, hopefully we'll try and get you back on the phone and sort out the technical difficulty on the audio part of that. Okay. How about now? Can you hear me now, Doctora? Okay. So while we're still trying to get Doctora Villavicencio back on the phone, let us first go. I'd like to go to our social media questions. So a lot of you have questions with regards to this episode on trying to use or trying to understand what the new norm is. So let's try and answer first. We have a question from Sheila Adlawan. And ang tanong niya ay, effective po ba ang pag-inom ng mga vitamin supplements para po i-boost ang ating immune system? So this is a good question, very timely. A lot of us are very familiar with vitamins at marami po sa atin ang gusto ng vitamins. Now, vitamin supplements is okay to use, but it do not rely on vitamin supplements alone. Uh, the base of everything, the base of your immune system will still be a good nutritious meal, which has enough carbohydrates, vegetables in that, some protein as well. But if you would like to supplement that with vitamins to boost your immune system, that is okay. There have been some studies of vitamin C and zinc, vitamin C with zinc, as a good, effective supplement when it comes to trying to stay off the viruses, not just COVID-19, but viruses in general. But what is most important as well, what is most often overlooked, is the amount of sleep. So kailangan po na at least 6 to 8 hours ang tulog natin kapag adult po tayo, kapag po bata, probably around 8 to 10 as our pediatrician experts have commonly said. You know? So good sleep, enough quality sleep, plus a good balanced meal, as well as exercise as well, is better than just going for vitamin supplements alone. Okay, so do we have Dr. Mensch back on the phone?
Hi, Freddie. Hi, Freddie.
Okay, can you hear me now, Doctora?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
very good. So we have Dr. Mensch back on the phone. Once again, Dr. Villavicencio is an infectious disease specialist from the Makati Medical Center. Now, Dr. Mensch, let's review first, how is it best to boost our immunity para maiwasan ang sakit?
Okay, so COVID is like any other virus. You need to boost your immune system by one, making sure that you keep yourself healthy through proper nutrition. I agree with you with also proper sleep, amount of sleep, and of course good hygiene. No? On top of the hygiene, hand hygiene, you also need to of course take a bath every day to make sure that you are clean, and of course with proper cough etiquette also to protect yourself.
Okay, that's a very important, and we'll talk about we will definitely talk about that, about hand hygiene and all of that. But first, we have to pause for a quick break. But when we return, we will talk about COVID-19 symptoms, which are very important. And there are a couple actually which were added to the list. So again, the safeguards, the steps we need to take to avoid getting sick. So we want to hear from you. So keep sending us your questions. The doctor is in. We'll be right back with Dr. Menchu Villavicencio. Hello and welcome back to The Doctor is In. We want to make the most out of your telemedicine appointment today. So thank you for your questions, and we'll do our best to answer them as much as we can. So still with us is Dr. Carmenchu Echiverri Villavicencio, infectious disease specialist from Makati Medical Center. Now, Doctora, what should be our best personal hygiene plan that we should follow, lalo na ngayon na pandemic?
Okay. So one is, of course, when you think about new normal, there are some new normals that we should have been doing to begin with. So one is, of course, make sure to clean our hands all the time. Uh, Use soap and water, or if you have alcohol, at least 70%, then you can use your hands at least 20 seconds. Wash it thoroughly. Make sure that you do all the steps, the 5 steps, so that you cover all the surfaces of your hands. Also, make sure to take a bath every day. So before you retire to go to bed, when you come home from work or from outside of the house, make sure to take a bath. Put your clothes in a bucket with water and bleach and soap already, and then soak them, and then just wash. Take a bath, a full bath, twice a day or every time that you feel that you're soiled. Also, make
Are
sure
there? Yeah.
to clean also or disinfect the highly touched surfaces in your house. And if you bring something from outside of your house, make sure that you also clean them with soap and water and dry them well.
Are there any new guidelines to in order to avoid the COVID-19 infection?
Uh, Guidelines in terms of protecting yourself, it's still the same. We need to do social distancing. Okay, what's best is, of course, at least 2 meters, or if the space is tight, at least a meter apart. Make sure to always wear your mask. Um, Also, if you don't need to go out, then don't go out of your home. If you can do your meetings through a teleconference like this, and it would be better than a face-to-face meeting. um, and also make sure that if you don't feel well, then call a health facility so that you will be able to be advised properly on what to do. If you're not sure that you're exposed to COVID, make sure you isolate yourself and get yourself tested if you have symptoms. Again, also, if you're going to cough and you don't have your mask on, make sure to cover your mouth. Wash your hands afterwards.
Now we are down to our last set of questions on social media. So let's answer some of them. Maraming tatanong about safety of public transportation under the GCQ. We have a question from Jess Pulvera at ang sabi niya, naka-GCQ na po sa amin pero nag-worry pa din ako about public transportation. Safe po ba na sumakay ng public transportation ngayon katulad ng mga jeeps?
Okay. Um, yung mga public transportation po, again, lahat tayo naman are mandated to wear a mask. But if you can also, aside from wearing a mask, mas maganda po sana na hindi po kayo uupo ng malapit, no? Or close to each other. Mas maganda ho, may spacing pa rin. So, para maiwasan din po yung pag-transmit ng infection. And then, of course, refrain from touching your mouth, your nose, and your eyes, no, without cleaning your hands first.
We have another question from Giro Nicolas. Ang tanong niya is, ano po ang ideal na laman ng hygiene kits? Sa case ko po, lagi kong dala ang sanitizer ko at face masks. Is that enough?
I think you're okay with the alcohol and the face mask. I think you're doing well already. So just make sure to do the proper steps. There's actually 5 steps on how to clean your hands or hand hygiene. You can actually just Google that. because it's not just important to put alcohol or to slather alcohol uh, on your hands. It's what's important is you have to cover the whole surface of both your hands. So there's actually a proper way on how to do hand hygiene.
Okay, before we go, Doctora, do you have any advice for our viewers? Any final words?
Um, right now, we are actually um, already going on our fourth week of this pandemic in the Philippines. I hope that everybody would be safe. Again, we would like to make a plea to everyone to make sure that if you don't need to go out and just stay at home, also protect yourselves and your family from this disease, but by making sure your hands are clean all the time. Um, and like what Freddie said, I mean, nothing beats prevention. So always try to get some sleep and be well nourished and exercise. So I hope that everybody will survive this pandemic with me and with Freddie. And looking forward to better times for the Philippines. So please stay safe, everybody.
I hope so too. And that was Dr. Carmenchu Echiverri Villavicencio, infectious disease specialist from the medical Makati Medical Center. So thank you also to everyone who has sent in their questions. The doctor is in and was hoping that we could answer all of this and hopefully meron kayong natutunan sa aming pinalabas. The doctor is in will be back on Monday, 3:30 p.m. And as always, stay home, stay safe, and I'll see you then. Goodbye, everyone.